Hello, welcome to Cupcakes Comic Reviews, where we show you the new comic books of the week and we show you some of the internal art so you can make the decision of whether that book is for you or not for you. This week we've got not one firestorm, we've got two firestorms. Because what's better than one is two. Let's check out the video. All right, let's quickly get through this. We don't have a big pile today, but then we have two firestorms. Why two? Because I just love the covers. At this point, like there was a choice I could have made, like between the two. I couldn't decide, so I grabbed both. This is Jorge Corona cover, and this one is your Riley Rosmo cover. So who is Firestorm? Firestorm is the nuclear man. He's basically Ronnie Raymond and Professor Martenstein fused into this entity called Firestorm. And I think that's his girlfriend. I think her name is Flamebird or something. So Firestorm has been, he was a big character in the 80s. He had two massive runs. One is Firestorm the Nuclear Man and the other one is Fury of the Firestorm. I hope they collected in omnibus format or something someday, because that original 80s run was amazing. After that, he kind of sort of faded away, like, you know, in the 90s and in the 2000s. I think the last Firestorm series was in the 2013 during the New 52 era, if I'm not wrong. And he also showed up a little bit in the Flash TV show. And I think it was Robbie Amell, who's Stephen Amell's brother, who played Green Arrow, who played Firestorm. And yeah, I was really excited to see Firestorm back. So because I used to buy comics in the 80s, so they always featured Firestorm. So I am familiar with the character and I do love him. And this run is by Jeff Lemire and the art is by Rafael De La Torre. I don't know much about it, but the premise is like Firestorm arrives in this city. And basically, you know, so his powers are he can basically transmute things. That means he can shape things, objects, from glass to solids to liquids, kind of like what Atom Eve does in Invincible. And that's basically what he does. But I think he cannot, in the original series at least, he could not like convert organic matter. But everything that is inorganic, like for example your solids, your gases, etc., he can transmute, right? And then he comes and he transmutes everything, this entire city. Everybody's like worried, what's wrong with Firestorm? Why does he do it? And that's a great starting off point. And then, you know, and to jump off it. And then, is there something wrong with him? Has he been infected, etc.? And they give you like a good backstory of Firestorm 2 in this probably, so that new readers can also jump in. But I have heard from a lot of people that out of these next level books, so you already have like Deathstroke, you've got Batwoman, you've got Deathstroke, you've got Batwoman, and you've got what is the third one? I'm forgetting. But anyway, best of the next level books is Firestorm. And some people people who've read it, they rate it like higher than anything else. So I'm curious to check this out, but that's Firestorm issue number 1 for you. That's the only DC we have. This is the Marvel book I have. That is Iron Man issue number 4. So again, this has got AIM versus Tony Stark's kind of a story, where AIM is basically captured all these brilliant people and they're torturing them just to see, like, you know, if they torture them enough, that all these people are like IQ level 300 or something. They're like really geniuses. So they're torturing them just to see that if they break them down, that they'll probably invent something, you know, something really great, like an Iron Man armor, which could probably, you know, fight with Tony's technology. So it's written by Joshua Williamson, art is by Carmen Carnero. And yeah, it's been a decent run. I haven't bought an Iron Man book in a long time. There's Spider-Man there for you, doing a cameo. But at the same time, Tony Stark has done something, and the Avengers are also after him. So it's one of those stories. But again, I trust Joshua Williamson. That's why I continue with this book. And it's been a long time since I bought an Iron Man book, but this is working for me. And you've got the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Melinda May also thrown into the mix. And and she's called the Cavalry. What's not to like? But that's Iron Man issue number 4, Iron Man Disassembled. Okay, we go further. So we've got one Dynamite book for a change after a long time. So I was pulling Silverhawks, then I stopped. I was pulling Thundercats before, then I stopped. And this is a crossover between the two. It's written and illustrated by Declan Shalvey. So I love Silverhawks. It was my jam as a kid. I used to watch the cartoon. So was Thundercats. I haven't been completely. I've been catching up on the Thundercats and the Silverhawks in trades, because at one point, like the single issues, I started forgetting like what I read about them. So now I've been catching up to them in the trades. But this is the first crossover where probably Lion-O and Quicksilver and the gang, they cross over each other. So that's Quicksilver. So, and you have him obviously meeting Lion-O in the same universe. I guess the cartoons were also produced by like the same company. I'm not 100% sure on that. Was it Filmation? Could be. So I am Quicksilver of the Silverhawks. La 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 la. Da da da, you know, and then I am Lion-O of the Thundercats, and they fight each other, and what more do you want? It's like, you know, being in the 80s and collecting action figures and then smashing two things against each other, like, you know, G.I. Joe fighting Transformers and, you know, them fighting Skeletor. So yeah, I hope this is cool, and it's 1 of 15, which, oh my god, this is a 15 issue series. That's amazing. So that means they've got a long story planned for this, and there is a Mumra sneak preview also in this. But yeah, this is Thundercats and Silverhawks crossover, Dynamite issue 1. Okay, then ongoing, from the ongoings, we've got Image Comics, we've got Dork number 3. So Dork, as I mentioned before in these videos, he's a dwarf and an orc, and there are two factions that are hunting him. So they have hunters from both the factions who are trying to hunt him, because apparently he's supposed to bring the end of this world, right? He's the bringer of Armageddon, as they say. So, and then he's trying to run, he's on the run. So he's got this dead chicken ghost with him, and it's just a fun series. Like, you know, it's not it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's like reading those old school Disney comics, you know, Mickey Mouse and everything. And it does have stakes, right? It's got like fun stakes and all. But Dork is what Dork does, and it's it's Brett Bean doing what Brett Bean does, which is basically delivering a solid story. But that's Dork issue number 3 for you. Okay, next we've got Transformers issue 31. So issue 30 was a bit controversial because you've got they made some changes. They made Elita 1 as a Prime. So now she's Elita Prime. And then before that, they had RC taking up becoming a Magnus. So Ultra Magnus handed her Magnus title to RC, and Optimus Prime handed his Prime title to Elita. And, you know, so a lot of people didn't like it. I had no problems with it. I think they're taking the story in a different direction, which they definitely need to do. And this is continuing that. And I think this is a Megatron-centric story. I see a lot of Megatron here. Megatron kicking ass and taking names. Oh my god, look at that. That dinosaur just stabbed him through. So, you know. So again, Kirkman is, and Ludo Lullaby, I think he's not going to continue this. So you had Dan Mora on the art in the previous issues. Ludo is just filling in for this particular issue, I think issue 31. And after that, they're getting a different artist altogether. So yeah, so but again, Kirkman doing Kirkman things, and Transformers issue 31 kicking ass and taking names as always. Moving on. So we've got this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 17. This is by Gene Lewin Yang and Freddie Williams II. I haven't been pulling this. I just got this for the gorgeous Mark Spears cover. So I don't know what's going on in Turtles. I did read the Jason Aaron Turtles when this relaunched, the first 6 issues, but then I really don't know what's going on. So I hope that this is like a jumping on point for me. Discontinuity never bothered me, so I can just read it, and like if I feel like it, I'll start pulling it or not, or just be happy with my Mark Spears cover. But again, why I bought it is for the Mark Spears cover, because the colors popped. Look at Leonardo, and the detailing on this is amazing. But that's TMNT issue number 17 for you guys. All right, then we've got Romeo and Juliet Godzilla. So this is part of the Godzilla Monster Piece Theater. So Godzilla Monster Piece Theater is basically putting Godzilla in against all these classic characters. So the original series was done by Tom Scioli, who basically put Godzilla against Gatsby, the Great Gatsby, and Dracula, and Sherlock Holmes, and a couple of other characters. This time they've taken Romeo and Juliet and Godzilla, so they've put Romeo and Juliet into this. And this is not by Tom Scioli, although Tom Scioli has done like a backup story with Godzilla and Robin Hood. But the main story is by Tierney, and the art is by Peacock. And the art looks great. Again, Tom Scioli has a different, unique style of his own, but this is not too bad. So again, I'm guessing that this is old school Shakespeare and Godzilla thrown in the back. So, you know, that's just such a cool panel that you got Romeo and Juliet, and then you've got Mothra and Godzilla in the back. So, you know, they're kind of lovers too. So, you know, they love each other, I'm sure. So anyway, so yeah, so again, like I said, I bought this for the backup story, and this is more expensive than the regular books we've got. Like all the other books are like 3.99, 4.99. This is a little bit oversized, but so it's 7.99, so it's a little bit more costlier, but it's also a bang for your buck. So you've got Robin Hood story in the back. So this is Tom Scioli. You can just look at the art and you will know that this is Tom Scioli. So Robin Hood versus Godzilla. So yeah, I'm curious to check this out. It's just a one shot. I don't think they're continuing this. So yeah, it's a cool buy just to fill my collection of Monster Piece Theater. And last is not this. I never got this in single issues. So I got this at the trade of Everything Dead or Dying. I think it collects like the first 6 issues of or first 5 issues of this book. And this is by Chris Condon, and no, it's by Tate Brombal, and the art is by Jacob Phillips. I just see Jacob Phillips and I assume that it's always Chris Condon who's doing. But Jacob Phillips, if you didn't know, is the son of Sean Phillips, the guy who partners with Ed Brubaker on most of his stuff. And what this is like, again, this is like a slice of Walking Dead. So basically there is this dude in his village and there is a zombie apocalypse. Everybody's turned zombie. He's human though, but he lives in a village with zombies and he's gotten used to living with zombies. That's the idea. So he feeds them again, like, so it's a small town and everybody is zombies and he kind of lives with them. But something happens when like a bunch of outsiders show up, right? I guess that's the premise. So yeah, it's a cool premise. And one of my pals, my cupcake pals, he told me that this is fantastic. It's a great story, right? So that's the reason why I pulled this, because I missed it during my the singles read. So I got a trade, and the artwork itself seems to be like worth for the price of admission. But anyway, that's all I have. That's all I got, guys. If you've stuck till the end, I thank you. Please check us out on Instagram as well. We're posting daily content there. The YouTube show is still weekly. So whenever we have like new comic book days or something special, then that's what we do. But at the same time, hit us up there. Check out the Cupcakes Facebook group. And if you have any questions on any of these comics, please drop a comment and we'll be more than happy to answer. But that's it for now, guys. I'll check you in the next one. And yeah, take care of yourselves.